Have you ever wondered why, I don't know, just one song can completely change your mood?
Oh, absolutely.
Or why a certain sequence of chords just instantly throws you back to a specific moment, maybe 5 or even 15 years ago?
It's this immediate, really profound shift, isn't it? It's not just a feeling.
No.
It's more like a physical state change. Why some sounds make you feel instantly relaxed and others just spike your anxiety.
Exactly. You know that moment when a sad song comes on late at night and
Oh.
suddenly you're not just listening to music.
hmm
You're like a philosopher at 2 a.m. contemplating everything. Yeah, let's talk about that.
Well, the science is really moving past just the subjective experience now.
Right. And that's what this deep dive is all about. We're looking at the robust, measurable evidence.
We're pulling insights from neuroscience, stress physiology, clinical trials, all to show how sound physically rewires and regulates your brain and your body.
So our mission today is to follow that sound wave from the moment it hits your eardrum all the way to tangible changes in your blood pressure, your motor skills.
Yeah. Your fundamental brain chemistry. We want to know the science behind what is arguably the most powerful emotional tool humans have ever created.
Let's do it.
Ready? Let's unpack this.
Okay, so to start, we should probably acknowledge that this idea of music being therapeutic,
Mhm.
it's not new.
Oh, not at all. People have known music was powerful forever. I mean, we have these really strong historical anchors.
You mean like way back in antiquity?
Exactly. Think about, say, 3,000 years ago. The story of King Saul, who was suffering from melancholy.
An evil spirit, I think they called it.
Right. And the only thing that brought him relief was when David played the lyre for him. Music was literally a medical intervention.
And maybe the most famous case, the one that always gets me, is Farinelli, the singer in the 18th century,
Ah, yes, with Spain's King Philip V.
who had what we now probably call severe clinical depression. He was basically unable to function as a king.
And this is the part that really underscores the power of it. Farinelli didn't just sing once and fix it.
No, it was a routine.
A very long one. He performed 4 specific arias every single night for over a decade.
Wait, over 10 years?
We're talking about 3,600 performances, give or take. And it worked. The king started to fulfill his duties again.
That speaks to the need for sustained, repetitive input for real psychological change.
Yeah.
It wasn't a quick fix.
It was long-term neurological conditioning. And that's the key takeaway from these stories. They highlight this fundamental cognitive connection.
Which has a very technical name, right? Music evoked.
Music evoked autobiographical memory recall.
Okay, let's unpack that. It basically means a sound or a melody triggers a meaningful memory.
Mm-hmm.
And that memory then evokes the original emotion, the joy, the sadness, whatever it was.
Precisely. And that's the rapid shift in mood you feel. It's a learned association, but it also has these clear, measurable physical markers.
Like musical frisson.
The goosebumps.
The chills that run down your spine when a song just hits right.
And that is anything but a metaphor. Piloerection, the hair literally standing on end, is an objective sign of intense emotional arousal.
And we can see this in the brain.
Oh yeah, neuroimaging confirms it. You see massive activity in key reward centers.
Okay, so what parts are we talking about? Give us the friendly version.
We see the ventral striatum lighting up, which is a big hub for pleasure and reward, and the orbitofrontal cortex, which is all about evaluating how good that reward is.
So my brain is both anticipating and celebrating the reward at the same time.
You got it. And this is where it gets really interesting on the measurable side. The skin conductance response, the SCR.
Right, so if you're measuring the electrical activity on my skin, you're essentially measuring my nervous system's response.
You're measuring minute changes in sweat gland activity. It's hard biology reacting to sound waves.
It's not just me saying I feel excited, my skin is actually saying it.
Exactly. And when researchers track this during an intense piece of music, they often find 2 distinct peaks.
2 peaks, why 2?
Because they map perfectly onto the 2 phases of reward. There's the anticipatory wanting of the reward as the music builds.
And then the hedonic liking of it at the emotional peak.
Yes, music literally hijacks your brain's fundamental system for desire and gratification.
Speaking of the brain, let's dive into that control panel. When sound hits, what are the major systems that get activated?
Well, the star player is always the limbic system. It controls memory, emotion, survival.
The primitive stuff.
The really primitive stuff. And we can zoom in on 2 regions that are crucial. First, the amygdala.
The emotional alarm system.
That's the perfect way to put it. It's central to processing fear, anxiety, threat detection. It's the part that screams danger.
The thing that makes you jump when you hear a loud noise in the dark.
Precisely. And right next to it, you have the hippocampus,
Yeah.
which works with the amygdala. The hippocampus is like the librarian.
The librarian.
It helps with the long-term storage of emotional events. It links the fear or the joy to the context, the where and the when.
Okay, so what's really counterintuitive, though, is what happens when these two, the alarm and the librarian, interact with music that you like?
Yes, the studies on this are fascinating. When you get those chills from high-pleasure music, you see increased activity in reward centers, like the nucleus accumbens,
Right.
but you see a significant decrease in activity in the amygdala, the alarm system.
So, wait, you're turning up the pleasure signal while simultaneously turning down the fear alarm.
It seems that way. It suggests music can temporarily suspend threat and negative emotional processing. It creates this little window of perceived emotional safety.
And that reward system is all about brain chemistry. We have to talk about dopamine.
Absolutely. Dopamine is, basically your brain's internal reward signal, the motivation molecule.
And music directly affects it.
It causally modulates it, and this is key. That doesn't just mean it makes you feel good in the moment. It enhances the motivation to seek out the music again.
Ah, so it reinforces the behavior. It makes listening a self-perpetuating, rewarding habit.
It does, and there are other neurochemicals involved too. Music also modulates the neuroendocrine system. It's been shown to increase endorphin levels.
Our body's natural painkiller.
And mood regulator, yes. It provides that sort of internal blanket of comfort.
I've also heard there's a connection to social bonding.
Definitely. Especially when the musical activity is active and group-based, like choir singing.
Okay.
There are strong indications that it affects oxytocin levels,
The cuddle hormone.
the social bonding hormone, exactly. Which makes perfect evolutionary sense. Singing or playing music together bonds a group.
It strengthens cohesion.
Right. It connects to the theory that music helped early human communities build social attachments, making group activities feel deeply rewarding.
So given all of this, the chemistry, the physical reactions, it's no surprise it's used as a serious therapeutic tool, especially for stress. How does it physically calm us down?
It mainly works by influencing the autonomic nervous system, the ANS.
The system that controls all the stuff we don't think about, like breathing and heart rate.
Right. It has the fight or flight response and the rest and digest response.
And when we're stressed, fight or flight takes over. So how does music flip that switch?
Slower, steady, temporhythmical structures, think calming classical or ambient tracks, they promote the rest and digest side
Oh.
by modulating heart rate variability or HRV and by regulating your breathing patterns, making them slower and deeper.
So if I'm stressed and I put on a chill playlist, that will immediately lower my cortisol.
That brings up a really important nuance. The findings on cortisol suppression during anticipation of stress are a bit inconsistent.
Good.
But the critical finding, which is maybe more important, is that music helps the ANS recover faster from the stress.
Recovery speed. So it's about resilience, not just avoidance.
Exactly. Even if it doesn't always suppress the stress hormones beforehand, it dramatically speeds up the recovery of markers like salivary alpha amylase and also respiratory sinus arrhythmia, or RSA, after the stressor is over.
Whoa, another acronym. What's RSA?
RSA is essentially the natural fluctuation in your heart rate that's caused by your breathing.
You mean how it speeds up a bit when you breathe in and slows down when you breathe out?
That's it. It's a measure of the health of your parasympathetic system. Music helps stabilize that, meaning your body gets back to balance more efficiently after a crisis.
That is a powerful tool. And beyond stress, there's strong evidence for pain and anxiety relief, right?
Absolutely. Music significantly reduces perceived pain and anxiety in all sorts of medical settings, from dental surgery to managing chronic pain like fibromyalgia.
But is just listening enough? Or is it better to be more hands-on?
That's a crucial distinction.
Yeah.
The studies really emphasize that active musical engagement, singing, playing an instrument, even just moving to the music, often provides superior effects compared to just passively listening.
Why do you think that is?
It points to a strong sensor-motor component. When your brain is engaging motor systems to create or time the music, it demands so much more focus.
It's a more effective distraction from the pain signals.
A much more effective one. And that sensor-motor link is why it's so powerful in neurological rehabilitation.
Right, like for movement disorders.
It really shines there. For patients with Parkinson's, something called rhythmic auditory stimulation, or RAS, can significantly improve their gait and mobility.
So the external rhythm from the music acts as an anchor for their internal motor rhythm.
Precisely. It helps them overcome those freezing episodes, and it also helps post-stroke patients recover motor skills, essentially retraining the brain's timing systems.
And what about for mental health, like depression? What does the data say there?
We have large-scale meta-analytic evidence on this. Music therapy shows a statistically significant reduction in depressive symptoms. We're talking a large effect size, even compared to active controls like conventional psychotherapy.
Wow.
And it consistently improves sleep quality. Active music therapy especially seems to show the largest benefit.
The idea that something so accessible could rival conventional therapy for symptom reduction it's just phenomenal.
It is.
Okay, so music is clearly a profound tool, but we have to be realistic. It's not a universal magic pill. We have to look at the fine print. Does all music help with stress?
Definitely not. Not all music is medicine, and it is profoundly personalized.
Right.
Some studies have found that listening to certain aggressive styles, like, say, high-tempo heavy metal or some intense rap, can actually increase arousal and worsen anxiety compared to silence.
So if it's stressing you out,
Well,
it's stressing you out.
exactly. It has to align with your personal preference. If
Okay.
you love heavy metal, it might be cathartic. If you hate it, it's just noise adding to your stress.
Which brings us to that really fascinating counterintuitive finding, the cortisol paradox.
This is one of the most interesting nuances. One study looked at people who listened to relaxing music before taking a standardized stress test.
Like a public speaking test.
Yes, and counterintuitively, the group that listened to the relaxing music beforehand, they actually showed the highest cortisol response during the test.
Wait, higher than the people who just sat in silence.
Higher than them, and higher than a group listening to ambient sounds like rippling water.
So the relaxing music made them more stressed. That kind of upends the whole listen to a chill playlist before the big meeting idea.
It complicates it. It suggests that knowing a stressor is coming while you're trying to relax might engage this heightened cognitive anticipation. You're thinking, okay, this is my calm time before the terror.
And that juxtaposition, that contrast, actually primes you for a stronger hormonal reaction.
That seems to be the case. It confirms the brain doesn't just process sound to sound, it processes it as predictive information. Now, the silver lining was that group still recovered faster after the test.
But the anticipation effect was real.
Very real. Which just shows that customization and context are everything. It's about personal preference, cultural context, even the mode of delivery.
Right, you mentioned that live music therapy or anything with a human present often has stronger effects.
Much stronger. That human connection adds a whole other layer of neurochemical benefit on top of the music itself.
This has been a fascinating deep dive. I think the key takeaway for you, the learner, is pretty clear. Music is this powerful, complex system. It taps into our most primitive neural pathways, reward, memory, our alarm system, to modulate our physiological recovery and our emotional states.
It's arguably the most accessible, non-invasive tool we have for wellness and healing. It's a remarkable convergence of art and science.
It really is.
Now, here's a final thought for you to mull over, building on that connection between music and social behavior.
Okay.
Research has suggested that musical engagement is associated with a specific gene.
A gene. Which one?
It's called the AVPR1A gene. It's involved in regulating vasopressin receptors, and it plays an important role in social behavior, pair bonding, that kind of thing.
So, given that music can affect social chemicals like oxytocin, and it's also linked to a gene for social bonding.
How might our unique musical tastes be secretly shaping our ability to connect and bond with other people?
That's a fascinating question. It makes you wonder if shared musical taste is less about aesthetics and more about, I don't know, fundamental social wiring.
Indeed.
So for you, the listener, we have to ask, what kind of music changes your mood the fastest?
Ready. Let's examine it together.